So today what we are going to do is just review basics of 1/10 and 10 times and see how it affects the values of a number. 1/10 of 89. Remember, of means times. 1/10 is going to make it smaller, and you look at how many zeros to see how far the decimal is going to move. Let's work the problem. Again, it's going to get smaller. Going to move one time because there is 1 0. The decimal now is at the end. Move it one time. That is where my new decimal goes. So my answer is 8.9. All right, good job. Next problem. One 1/100th of 5.4. Again, of means what? Multiply. Two zeros, making it smaller. What do you think the answer will be? Let's work it out together. Smaller. 1, 2 zeros. Find the decimal, move it 2 times. 1, 2. There needs to be one number in every spot. I'm going to move that over here so you can see it better. It is good if you guys write this stuff down and not just try to do it in your head. 1 swoop, 2 swoops. The new decimal goes here. There's already a 5 in this swoop, so the swoop is empty. In math, nothing is something. Nothing means 0. So my answer is 0.054. Good job. All right. One more for this type of problem. What do you multiply 23 and 4/10 by to get 234 thousandths? Okay, so it's going from a big number to a small number. See how this has numbers to the left of the decimal, and this is all decimal, so it's getting smaller. To make something smaller, we're going to need a fraction. So the question you need to think about is, how many times did that decimal move? Well, it started out here, and it moved to here. So it moved 2 times. I'm going to need 2 zeros. It went from big to small, so I need fraction. So 1/100th is your answer. Great job so far, guys. Next problem. Four and 3/10 times 10. 1 0, the decimal is moving one time. 10 should make it bigger. What do you think the answer should be? Let's work it out together. 1, 0, getting bigger. Move that decimal one time. 4, 3, point. Now, do I need that point at the end? No. In math, we just say 43. Now, let's check to see if it's reasonable. It was supposed to get bigger. Which is bigger, 4.3 or 43? 43 is bigger, so it is reasonable. If we look at the top ones, they were supposed to get smaller. Go back to 1. This one, if you times something by 1/100th, it should have gotten smaller. Our original number was 5.4, 5 and 4/10. We ended up with 54 thousandths, a very small decimal versus a whole number in a decimal. So it did indeed get smaller. You do need to check those things, or you may be moving the decimal the wrong way. Next problem. 732 and 1/10 times 100. I'm not going to say anything, no hints. I want you to try to solve it. Let's work it together. 1, 2 zeros. It should be getting bigger. Find my decimal. Move it 1, 2 times. In the empty swoop, put a 0. If I work that down here, so the problem didn't get in the way. 1, 2, here's my decimal, a 0 in the empty swoop. Lots of times I'll even put little arrows so I know which way the decimal moves. Now, to write that, 7, 3, 2, 1. I do not have to write that decimal at the end. In math, that's where it is invisible, so we do not write it there. Now, I will count it correct if you write it just like this. I will also count it correct if you put a comma here, 7,321. Next problem. What do I multiply 23 and 1/1400ths by to get 231 and 4/10? Just look at how many times the decimal moved, and did it get bigger or smaller? Okay, first thing, it got bigger. 23 to 231. You don't even have to read the decimals. All right, you can literally just look at the numbers in front of the decimal. 23 versus 231. It got bigger. How many times did it move the decimal? Let me show that a different way. The decimal went from here, from in front of the 1 to behind the 1. It moved 1 time, so I'm going to have 1 0. Bigger, so it's going to be just a 10, not a fraction. And that's your answer. So these are the basics. For the quiz tomorrow, you need to know the basics, and then we're going to apply it a little bit like we did in last week's video. Be sure to review any of the ed puzzles I've given you for the quiz tomorrow. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your teacher. Thank you. Have a great day.